Hello, good dag, good day, in the Viking tongue. I'm your host for today, Bragi, the son of Magnar, as you jolly well know. Now, today we have another special celebration. Yes, we do. And you may be saying to yourself right now at home, well, Bragi, what is this special celebration you have to tell us about? Well, 9 years ago today, something very special was found. Can you tell me? Well, let me tell you. 9 years ago today, the Anglo-Saxon hoard from Staffordshire was found. Oh yes, and today we're going to talk about it for a few minutes in celebration of this fabulous and fantastic hoard, of which I am very fond of. So, first of all, the hoard was found by a man, and his name was Terry Herbert. And the hoard was found in Hammerwich, in Staffordshire, the county of Stafford, back in 2009. He was a metal detector, and after discovering some gold, no doubt got excited, did the usual metal detectors dance when they find gold, and then phoned up his local finds office to report the find, and before they knew it, they had found, well, 3,500 items. That is a lot of items in a hoard. And it is the largest Anglo-Saxon hoard ever found. I think that is absolutely marvellous. I cannot express the artwork in this hoard, which we'll talk about that as we go along. Now, there was 5.1 kilograms in weight of gold and 1.4 kilograms in silver. That is a lot of gold and a lot of silver. And there was also a lot of garnet encrusted jewellery. I think nearly all of the pieces had some form of garnets encrusted into them. And if you can understand the work that goes into doing something like that, then that is just completely amazing to think that the Saxons had the talent to do that. But not also the talent, but also the resources to trade these garnets from India and the Far East. So it also shows you the abilities of the trading and how far they went. Now, the hoard was deposited at some point in the 7th century, and it contains many artifacts. Many of the artifacts are associated with men. There are few artifacts in the hoard associated with ladies, women. Many of the items are actually from weapons and also from helmets, the mountings, the fittings, like this prime example of the Anglo-Saxon helmet from Coppergate in York, as you jolly well know. Now, at the time when all the items were finally discovered, although they first of all dug in 2009, but went back in 2010 and 2012 to excavate some more. I'm not sure if they've been back since 2012. Now, there was many items which I've already said belong to swords, many mounts, and many items which you could call fastenings or locators. There were many beautiful gold items, and some of the items were just purely astonishing. The craftsmanship was just beyond anything we could imagine, really. And we'll talk about how they might have manufactured these items as we go along. Now, the items were said to be manufactured at some point between the 6th and the 7th century. So already, when these items were buried, some of them would have been very old and perhaps been passed down generations. You know, the fittings of the sword, which some of these items were, you know, they would have been passed down on swords, as father to son, perhaps. And there's also the speculation of perhaps these were remains of a battle, the takings of a battle. They would strip the swords down because At the end of the day, the most expensive item on the sword was the sword itself, and generally not the fittings. They would recycle the fittings, or bury them in this case. There was also some items which linked the hoard to Christians. There was speculated to be at least two crosses, maybe three, crumbled up, which is also very interesting. Of course, if you want to go and look at the hoard, there are many pictures online. I could include some in this video, but I thought best not. I'll let you do the research yourself and discover the hoard for yourself. And I do recommend you going to check out the hoard. And if you can actually go and see it in real life, then I recommend that too. Now, it was deposited in a remote place back in the 7th century, south of the Roman road, Watling Street. And that is an interesting fact. It was also west of Lecto Cetium Utum. I think I pronounced that right. That's the problem with some of these Roman names and being in the modern world, and we forget how to pronounce them. So overall, it is an amazing piece of work in craftsmanship for all the pieces. Some are far more stunning than others. There's one interesting piece which is inscribed with some biblical quotation, and that is very interesting within itself, and already gathered much speculation from archaeologists. Now, if you'd like to see a follow-up video on this video with me and Egil talking about the Staffordshire hoard in the future, then please leave that in a comment for me. I'm sure Egil will be very happy to do that for you, and we could talk again about this amazing hoard. And let's talk about how they might have manufactured some of the items. Well, I can imagine in some of the bigger cities and towns, or the cities, they would have had outdoor workshops with lots and lots of people working, from your basic skills to the craftsmanship, which will be very highly skilled. If you could imagine having to take some of these pieces to have them made today, to be reproduced, then you'll be going to a very skilled jeweler to have these pieces reproduced, who would have spent years and years and years working and gaining skills in his craft. So the workshops must have been properly organised, had foremen, you could say, supervising apprentices. You would have started at a very young age, even down to 10 or 11 or 12 maybe, possibly, or even younger. That is to be speculated about. And you would have been working probably 7 days a week. And as you worked and the years you spent, the better you would have become at your craft. You would have moved up the table from starting with the silver items, you could say, to some of the more expensive gold items. They would have had separate workshops for casting, as you do not want to mix the workshops of fine work with castings. The castings are the beginning stage of manufacturing a very nice gold item. And they would have probably sought and looked for people with talent throughout the land. They would have been localized, and even they may have been imported from Europe, from Saxony, or even Italy. Who knows? A lot of these questions we do not know how they manufacture these things, and I'd love to find out. I mean, the skill it takes to manufacture a helmet like this, and the hours in today's modern world, that would cost a lot of money to make. So for now, we've had a little chat about this amazing discovery on a very special day when it was discovered, and this is a bonus video for today. I didn't really plan to record it. I was just looking on Twitter. We have a Twitter page, so don't forget to follow us on there. We're heading very closely to 700 tweets and 50 followers. So please take a minute and follow us on Twitter. You'll find the link in the banner. And don't forget to leave your comments. What do you think about the Saxon hoard? What are your thoughts? What are your favourite pieces from the Saxon hoard? Are there any more questions you'd like us to know? I'm sure even myself or Egil, when he's here, can answer them for you. So I do hope this has been informative, and I do hope it's been entertaining. After all, we're here to entertain and not bore you with just facts. So until the next time, as always, I'm your host, Bragi, the son of Bagnar. Was hail. Good health to all those that watch. I'll just give you a little close-up of this if you can see it, before I go and edit this video. Watch how it's getting closer.